All right. Hello, guys, and welcome to the Dojo. We are going to do a podcast about the World Cup, the Blizzcon announcement, and we are going to talk about the Overwatch League as well. So, topics that came up in the recent weeks and months, and I have down here.
Hey,
say
everybody.
hi.
Hi, guys.
So, the World Cup is over, and
Finally.
we all know who won, and I mean, we kind of expected that.
Yeah, it's a sad day. And I lost a lot of money.
Oh, okay. You were betting.
No. I lost a lot of, pretzels and stuff. It was
okay.
Things like that. But no, it was amazing to kind of just see. But South Korea still had to fight in the World Cup to even get to their top point. But yeah, It was definitely, we all saw it coming, but we didn't want it to be true.
I mean, I really loved the games.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just... Okay. Sorry. I think I muted the Discord. Can you talk now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It works.
Okay.
So, I kind of like the games, how they did them. The new Spectator mode seems really good. So it is visually appealing to me. It is easier to distinguish between the teams, to distinguish between the characters. I liked how they did the skins for the different teams.
The skins were beautiful in the way that they did those, and I really liked how it made it more uniform. You're right, it made it easier for everybody to see what's going on. I think what I was just kind of bummed out about is that they only used 4 different colors. It was either white, blue, red, or green, which was the only oddball out of them all. But I think it's a great step in the direction that they need to go with spectator mode, especially if they're wanting to make this a big esport.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, I was impressed with what they did in that sense.
I also think that they improved in regards to the production value that they did with the casting. What do you think about that? Because that's your topic.
Okay, so... they did a good job for normal standards. Me personally, the announcing was on point to, they would follow along and do stuff. They sound like normal casters to me. Their puns were freaking insane. It was, They loved doing that. Just the announcing during the game was fine. And then the pre-game stuff and whatnot felt really good and everything. The way that they just chit-chat and everything makes them feel real gamer-like. I think the announcing side was fairly good. Again, I don't know specifically what could have changed. I guess following along with what's going on in the screen, which is a feat to do of itself. And so my background's more in, physical sports of football and basketball and things like that, and announcing and whatnot. So it's easier to see what's going on because it's a flat plane. It's not like a 360 dimensional sphere that you're having to watch and try and keep up with. But their job in doing the announcing part of the casting, which that was another term I found interesting, is that they're called casters, which I guess is a interesting term, but it makes sense because they probably also do the live streaming aspect with the announcing. So it's just esports is a whole new avenue for me to learn from, and I'm enjoying it so much, seeing where it's all going to. But I think the announcing they need to focus more on talking about what's going on, which sometimes they did. And then I'd like seeing more stats coming from the announcers than the graphics that are popping up during the dead times, which they did do every once in a while. But
there were some nice stats actually. I was surprised that they are having real-time data about their games.
Oh, geez.
That would be handy for the players as well, or the streamers or stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and that's actually protocol for most sports these days. You get live feeds of stats and whatnot. That's what a lot of the big companies of ESPN and whatnot for football games, they'll instantly get stats so they can bring up a graphic and say such and such is thrown for so many yards. So basically, this system brings it up to that kind of a level where the casters. So as a producer, that's my job, is to bring up stats and promote people or things like that, and that really does help, and it's something that's needed, especially in this kind of a sport. You're like, oh great, they killed him, and that's cool and whatnot. But when you bring up a stat that says, well, let's say I'm probably going to butcher a lot. No, you know what? We're going to go South Korea. Let's say, Flower has, 40% scope accuracy compared to, like Jake, who has, 20% weapon or scoped in weapon accuracy. Those are stats that really show you how much skill each individual player has. And whatnot. And it's really nice. It's a, like a luxury item almost, but it's so nice to have, especially if you're wanting to create a fan base around it, because us fans love statistics. That's what we live for.
Yeah. That was my idea too, that these stats are a nice addition because it really helps the viewers to know what exactly is going on the screen, because when the events are going on and they are killing each other and taking the points and whatnot, everything is happening at once, you can't really see the individual performance. But I mean, I think they were spectating, not exactly remembering who, but there was a Farah, and the stats were real time, so she did damage, then the stats updated.
Oh yeah,
and it was just really nice to see that.
I remember that. I think that was either I think it was either, I believe that was Canada, because Manchu, I think that's how you say his name. Manchu was was playing Farah a lot, and I think that's what it was. It was either whenever Canada was playing South Korea, or it was whenever they were playing, was it Sweden? I think that's who they played beforehand, was Sweden. Yeah, I'd have to say that was during the Sweden and Canada game, because I was watching that too, and I saw that. I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool.
That's what we need.
Oh, we need lots of things. But so that's really cool for the graphics and whatnot. Some of the stuff that they didn't utilize as much as I wish they did was the freeze frame instant replay and the top view of the battle. So
yeah, that top view is really looking nice, because it's a simplified 2D view, and it should be able to show the viewers what is going on the screen, because it's easy to get lost even with several cameras in the game. You still get a better overview with that 2D view, and I agree, they could have utilized those more.
Yeah, and again, coming from my casting background, what I wish they would have done, especially with the top view, because having that, and especially having it going on in the middle of the action probably isn't the best, because then you don't get to really see what's going on in the 3D dimensions. What I would have preferred to see that happen is when they first come out, when you want to see where everybody's positioned. That way you know where they are at. And they did that on replays and stuff, which was cool and nice and whatnot. But, pop it up whenever there's dead time so we can see where everybody's set up. That's when I would have used it. And I think that's hopefully what future directors or producers or casters will do with this technology, is make it to where you can see where everybody's positioning, because that's really where that top view comes in handy, where you can see, where is Jake positioning himself with Ruckus up on the roof in Volskaya, or, where's Flower going to set up his Widow-making sniping skills, or where's Manchu and Joe Meister going to flank, and things like that. So that's one thing I hope that they work on more. Again, this was a lot of new stuff for them to deal with.
Yeah.
But the thing that I was saddened most in that the replay freeze frame stuff wasn't used as much. You could see them trying to use it, but they failed at making it work in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
So
I mean, I think it's kind of new to them as well to use it in a production environment. I'm sure that they tested it, and I'm sure that the casters and producers were shown this feature and they got to play around with it, but they could have utilized it a lot better.
Oh yeah, I mean, and you're right. They were given a lot of new tools, and they prioritized what tools are more important at that point in time, which was the live stats. That's basically number one that you need to have, especially if you want to be more of a real sport. And you reach a wider community with that. For the instant replay stuff, they did basic replays where you could see, we were watching, let's say we were watching Sinatra being a boss, over here is Tracer, but, Ruckus was doing amazing things at the same time, so we will replay that at his point of view. That's cool. The freeze frame stuff, again, this is when you have to fill up dead time. This is when you have, when they were in between matches or waiting for people to come out, that's when you would freeze frame it. And I'm going back to American football, this is where you'd freeze it, circle people and say, well, let's say, Sinatra sees, Flower here, I can't remember anybody else, Toby up here, and this is where he, decides stuff, and then you play it through and you see it happen. That's when that kind of technology would be best used, is during dead time. A lot of the stuff that has been implemented would be really good for dead air. So hopefully they'll figure that out and make it work. But that's just, my point of view from a production side and doing sports broadcasting here and there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. I think that they could have used these tools to enhance the educational part of the World Cup, to show a little bit more analysis during the games live when they were happening. Not just to fill the dead time, but to give the viewers an actual sense of what is going on, because it can be really hard to comprehend what is going on in a pro level if you are just watching the game or if you are just playing casually. And freezing the frames and going over the positions and going over the recent decisions that the teams made, I think that is some real value that could have been added if they decided to do a little bit more analysis during the games.
Oh yeah.
And I understand that it is a kind of hard thing to do, because you may be reading things that are not there and players are just playing from their reflexes and stuff like that, but in most cases you can still convey a lot of information for the viewers that can be really useful for them after the matches or during it, to understand the game on a high level.
Oh yeah.
To understand the game on a high level.
It will be, yeah, definitely. And it will be interesting to see if other people can get a hold of the footage so that they can freeze frame it, like what you're saying, for educational stuff. It would be great if, people like us could grab it and, freeze frame it and do the whole 3D thing and just see everything what they do in, sports shows like Sports Center and other things like that, where they can talk about the stuff outside of the game afterwards and really break it down. That is true. That would be a great usage of the tool, and maybe it will at some point become that way. Because that'd be a great tool for us for coaching. And everything. Yeah, for coaching it would be invaluable. Basically, a demo that you can just play back and stop it and view it from different directions. That's what I wish for Christmas, to be honest. Daddy Jeff, this is all we want for Christmas.
And also, I really liked how the World Cup actually got a lot of views. So here are some numbers. The tournament's overall peak was more than 800,000 viewers, and that's a lot. So I looked at Twitch, and Overwatch was the most viewed on Twitch, and that was just good to see. I was really worried for some time during the summer whether if Overwatch will make it popular or stuff like that.
Yeah, because it's been dropping popularity recently. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think they just hired somebody who can actually do marketing, because the advertisements for the World Cup popped up not just in the Blizzard launcher but in the game itself, and I think that's really important to show the players who just log in and want to play casually that, hey, come on, this is going on. You can just view the matches. This is for you. It's a high level of Overwatch that you are playing casually, so let's go and watch it. I think that was a thing that was really well done on Blizzard's part.
Yeah, that was a very interesting thing, actually logging into Overwatch and seeing them saying, oh yeah, by the way, World Cup going on, press this button to watch it. That was definitely good marketing there, just getting stuff out there so that their 30 million viewers can at least hop on and watch the stream.
All right. Okay. So, anything else about the World Cup?
I don't know if anybody's going to care about this point that I have, but the one thing that bugged me the most, and it literally bugged me because I'm a strong, stout American, is that the commercials sucked. Okay. There were no commercials. All they did was run the same phrases, and I read them 80 times. They did billboards and whatnot, which were nice. And this is from a producing aspect. All your money comes from sponsors, obviously. So, they showed off who was sponsoring them and things like that, but it would have been nice to have commercials from those sponsors to fill in the time instead of just having these quotes run by every few seconds. That's when I would, as a producer, have replays running of the previous match. And just having that go so people can see it. But then again, I wasn't put in charge, and nobody likes my American attitude anyways, so that's just what's it gonna be anyways. But
I think that's an interesting viewpoint for everyone to consider that from a producer's aspect. I didn't really think about advertisements and in-stream adverts and billboards and stuff like that, but now that you tell about it, that's really interesting.
It is, and you got to promote the people who give you money. And I find it interesting that Blizzard did not put more ads in. You know, I know Intel has ads. I know T-Mobile has ads. So you have at least 2 sections of ads you could throw in there and do stuff with it. But, I mean, I like the little quotes that they were showing that were giving me lore tidbits and things like that. But after, 2 days of it, I need something else than
okay,
lore.
So you had a problem with the variety of the adverts. That's it, basically.
Yeah, it was the variety of the little tidbits and stuff. And again, I like commercials. I watch the commercials more than the shows half the time. But I mean, who doesn't? Come on now, everybody. I know you all watch the commercials more than the show. Don't lie to me.
You have to, basically.
Essentially. So, but yeah, that was just the other like little thing, and that's just me that's the producer side of things that maybe they might fix in the future or not. That's up to them. It's whatever.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Next up is BlizzCon announcement, because there were a few. So let's start with, I think, the most interesting one. We will have a new hero called Moira. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but...
Yeah. I mean, I said Moria. I said Moria the first time, and my brother goes like, "No, that's a city in Lord of the Rings." That's
okay.
But I think you're saying you're right. I'm going to go with that one, Moria.
Okay.
Moria.
So
something like that.
This is a really interesting hero. A new support that is also a DPS.
Oh my lord! Yes, she is. She is just insane. I've watched some gameplay of her from Muselk, Australian YouTuber and whatnot, and so he's good. He plays Zenyatta a lot, so he plays an off support a lot. And watching him play as her again, he jokes around with her, but just seeing just the basics of what he can do with her. My lord, she's getting nerfed so hard when she's released. I'm not lying. That's
I think we're always thinking that, but then they might just release her as is.
I mean, to be honest, she is probably the most well-balanced character to be released since launch of Overwatch. Because the reason why I say that, now calm down, chat. The reason why I say that is because her way to heal is different than any other kind of healer in the game.
That's right.
So whenever she heals, she depletes her heals. And when it runs out, then she has to kill people to regain her heals. So it makes sense how long her reach is with that thing. So, I mean, you don't want your healer to go running out in the middle of a fight so that she can heal you back. It's kind of counterintuitive. But if she can, zap the health out of like a Pharah floating up above, I mean, that helps you out. And you take out one big threat. So... I know people are going to hate that because they're going to be like a Symmetra 2.0, but
yeah,
just
that's the only concern of mine, that people will not use her as a support. But I mean, her kit really needs you to heal and do damage in the same time. So she's like a half Symmetra, half Zenyatta thingy. I kind of like the concept.
I do too. It's definitely a different type of hero, and especially with this whole DPS meta stuff going out where you have all these good hit scan people coming around. It helps supports actually be active in wiping out people. I think she'd be really good with the former dive comp, or I think the dive's still alive. I see it every so often in doing stuff, because she can, shadow step in and start, sucking the life out of people and then heal stuff. And I mean, she can also throw out that little orb and do heals and then do damage at the same time. So it makes her more versatile, I think. And I think, I believe she's going to replace Zenyatta almost. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe. I just really want to see her replacing Mercy, because there's no resurrect. I know that, but she can be really useful. But in regards to how she could be played, she is more close to Zenyatta than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So we will see. There's no damage increase in her kit, but she can do damage, and she can do that from afar, being safe.
Yeah.
So that's nice to see.
I think her damage is similar to Anna's gun.
Yeah, kinda.
I think. Don't quote me on that, but even with that, you're right. It doesn't ramp up like Symmetra, so it's not uber OP. But her survivability is so good, it's not even funny.
Yeah, you just need to pay attention to what you are doing, and you have a mean to escape with a fade that has a really low cooldown, so you can basically just jump around when you are in trouble.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you just need to pay attention to the positioning, and that's it.
Yeah, her fade's basically used to where when she's out of heals, she can just jump into the enemy team, do a bunch of damage, and then fade back out so she can get back to healing her team. I believe that's what the Overwatch team would want you to do. Obviously, the community's not going to do that. What they're going to do is fade around and just keep zapping the crap out of people.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, who does heals these days? But I don't. Her ultimate though, I don't even know how to say it. Like colon-sense.
Yeah, it's your language, not mine. If you can't say it, I have no chance. Coalescence.
I think you just said it perfectly. All
right.
You did great.
Thank you.
So that ult there is.
That is terrifying to see. Actually,
you think so?
It has the goodness and the evil in it. Looks really badass.
No, it does. It does. Whenever you see that thing rip out, it's so. It looks so good. I just don't know how well it can be used once people figure out how to dodge it. Since it's just a straight line, I just don't know. I know it goes through barriers and stuff, so it'll be nice for maybe working with, as everything else works with, a graviton surge and doing that. So, but you can aim it and things like that, and it does heals and damage, so that's going to be an interesting combo to see. You can just literally just pump it into a big old team fight and just hope for the best, in all honesty, for things to happen. But interesting ult. I'm intrigued to see how well it works out.
We'll see.
As with the whole hero, but I'm hoping she'll be fairly viable when she is released. But again, I don't know. It seems like new support heroes are used more than any other new hero. I mean, when Anna was released, people started hating her, but now she's more meta than anything in the world. And then Orisa and Doomfist have been released, and they're not used that much, and their win rates are so low. So I'm intrigued to see with this new support hero how well she does with the community and how well she's accepted. Obviously, Jeff said it all when he spelled out her name as OPAF. So that's that pretty much sealed the deal as to where she's gonna stay.
All right. Okay. The next Blizzard announcement was the new map, Blizzard World.
Oh my goodness!
So I kinda like it.
Yeah, because you like all the other Blizzard games, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. I played them all.
Oh, ooh, he's cool. I haven't played a single one of them except for Heroes of the Storm. So,
okay.
So
I have been playing from Warcraft 1. I was really little when that game was out, but I have played that as well as all the other games. So
okay.
I know these universes quite well, and I like how they created a theme park for the games.
Oh yeah, no, you got to figure they got to put a plug in at some point for themselves. I like it. It's a really creative way of showing off all their other games so that people can go buy them. I really like that. Great marketing right there. So But obviously for you, like, and a bunch of other fans that have come to Overwatch based off of their experiences in other Blizzard games, it does bring back memories. I think. I don't know for a fact.
Yeah, I can imagine just going around the map and like participating in an amusement park, just going around and seeing things and seeing how they work. I can actually imagine it because I really want. I'm really interesting. Interesting. I'm really interested to see how they place these stuffs and how they work. I watched some streams and gameplay on it, but actually experiencing it may be a lot more interesting.
Oh yeah, no, it's an interesting looking map. The play style to me seems very similar to Junkertown almost in its openness. I might be wrong in thinking that, but again, that's how I feel whenever I watch the gameplay that I saw of it. Is that it's just so open. It's
so
hard.
Open.
It's hard to hide and whatnot unless you want to get completely away from the point or the payload. So we're going to see a lot more big old drug out fights, and AoE is going to reign supreme. So that's going to be great. But it's a great new map. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, we'll see when it comes online. So, what do you think about the new short about the Reinhardt?
Oh, his hair is so glorious. Oh, man, we needed this for so freaking long. That May short should have been never released. This is what we should have had. But, it is just the one thing, Alien, the one thing we need to ask ourselves is when is Reinhardt getting a buff? Because did you see how far that man was flying around and how fast he was going?
Yeah.
Okay,
He was doing DPS Reinhardt.
Oh yeah,
the whole time,
the entire time. That's all he was living for. He just says, "Who needs a shield when I got a big hammer?"
Yeah.
So it was a great short, artistically and story wise. I loved it. How it went. I mean, when I first started playing Overwatch, Reinhardt was my hero, and he was just I just loved playing as him, and there's just a story to go along with it. So you get to see how his scar comes about on his eye because he got cocky and went against a ninja OP Orisa. So that's, I mean, I'm glad that Eevee took out the whole giant sword thing and her ability to climb on walls. That's pretty nice.
Oh yeah,
but I just loved the short overall. It was done beautifully well, and just I like the story of, the master handing off to the student what he needs to continue. Because obviously Overwatch didn't want Reinhardt to begin with. So I'd like to see the part where he shows up and they're like, we didn't order you. We didn't want you. But what did you think of the short, Alien?
I liked it. It was I think Blizzard is doing a really great job with these shorts. They are actually valuable to anyone who is digging into a game that he or she is playing. I'm kind of like that. I like backstories and I like the lore of the worlds that I'm playing in. And this short again was very nice. Was very touching. It really described how Reinhardt was in his youth, and we got to know about him a little bit more. And he's really an important character in the game because you always want to have a frontliner to put shields in front of you. But this short just showed a really interesting side of the young Reinhardt.
Oh, it did. It was really cool. I liked how it was a big old flashback is what it was. And it was all based in Eichenwald, so that was kind of cool. Basing it back there and just seeing how much destruction was caused, probably based off of him running around.
And it was also interesting to see the foot soldiers around because we are just playing Overwatch with the actual heroes, but there were some common people with guns.
Oh yeah, that was definitely an interesting, we saw it before in the Bastion short. Whenever Bastion was reliving that, we saw him, was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But then, with the Reinhardt short, we actually have a connection with that because Reinhardt was supposed to stay with his squad, and obviously, as a cocky young man as he was, he did not. So that ended up well. But I just like the parts where we kind of hear more of Reinhardt's lines just all over the place, and just I think I like the part where he's telling his master goodbye for the final time, and his master's his teacher's like, go and be their shield. And that's just like, oh, I remember when he said that in game the first time I opened Overwatch. Oh, memories flowing. So it was, that was just so cool.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing.
Goosebumps and all.
It was. I love the short. I watch it every day. I love it. It's up there with Dragons, like in its how good it is.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Cool. And I think the last announcement from BlizzCon was the new skins from other Blizzard games, but that is the same topic that the Blizzard World, that they're connecting the products. They're trying to make it appealing to the players. The only thing I noticed that is really different is the Widowmaker. I mean, you are expecting a black thing to fly around and snipe you in the head, and then you get a blonde girl in gray suit.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna throw everybody off.
Yeah. It's because the other characters are basically the same, but this is a whole new thing.
Yeah, no, her and let's see, I think her and Zarya have very differentiating skins for sure.
Yeah.
Out of everything, because Roadhog, he's just a demon, which he always is. But his skin's cool. But yeah, you're right. Widowmaker's skin, that's almost like a total rework. In a sense to it. So I'm intrigued to see if that skin plays a difference. I doubt it, but in maybe people's awareness of where snipers are. Yeah. So you bring up a valid point of how good skins help out in games sometimes.
Yeah, they can. I think it will be interesting to see, and these skins will come early next year, I think, and they are going to be
next year. And I want the Reinhardt skin.
Yeah,
so bad. That hair.
With the glorious hair. Okay. Cool. So that's about the BlizzCon announcement. And the next up is the Overwatch League. So that is finalizing. And we are getting more and more info in the Battle.net client. And we can also see the teams with their own skins and stuff like that. So I'm really happy to see that is going on and that is coming to a start early next year.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. I believe preseason starts the 6th of December is what I read somewhere. So we'll be able to hopefully see some of the teams play before the whole season starts in January. I like this so far because it's definitely giving it that more of a sporty feel than, just... Team Rogue or NRG just running around doing stuff. It makes it feel more professional.
Yeah.
So, and I'm all for professionality. I don't know who else is, but I like it. But the teams are really cool. The logos are nice. I mean, they already got divisions for it. And obviously it's going to be cool to see how this just plays out overall. All the teams seem like they have a good chance at being good. I know half of South Korea's team is in New York, and the other half is in Seoul.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is. I was kind of upset because that means.
Yeah, but those things happen in sports.
Yeah, you're right. But it doesn't matter. My faith does not waver. Team Dallas Fuel will still be OP as anything in the world, but. No, it's really cool what they've done with the Overwatch League. I love it. I really love it.
Yeah, I had doubts in the past, and I still have some, but I think they are heading to a good direction.
Well, what doubts do you have?
I mean, they didn't really promote the OVL as much as they could have. I think they just started to do it, and that was my biggest concern, but I think they may not need to do it as much as I think they could have done. I'm not an expert on that field, but...
Okay. No, I agree with you. There hasn't been a lot of promotion via the Overwatch League themselves doing stuff with it, because they've been trying to rush this for... They've been kind of rushing, but yet dragging their feet at the same time with this Overwatch League. But you got to start out, especially with any kind of sport, with just having people interested in finding people who are actually good at the game, so you can have good, entertaining games to actually watch, and not just be like, oh, it's another blowout. Oh, it's another blowout. but I think the league has done the best that they can in the situation they have. I don't know if they have like specific people dedicated to it, or if the Overwatch team themselves are in charge of it. I'd be really surprised if that is the case. But
no, I think they have some dedicated people to organize these kind of things.
Okay, so yeah.
I'm not sure.
I mean, that would make the most sense if there was a separate, like it's kind of like having a commission. The NFL does some promotional stuff, but at the final, line, it's up to the teams themselves to do a lot of promoting and things like that. So when Dallas Fuel did a short video to show off their roster, that obviously will get them a fan base because they're the only ones, putting their names out. I didn't look at the other teams until I saw Dallas Fuel pump out their little video showing their roster when I saw Taimu Siegel, Mickey, and Effect all on there, which is basically just Team Envious, but that's besides the point. So
I think that was the idea to let the teams do the promotion for themselves to create a fan base for the team, and then that will come to. They will just get a fan base. From that.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of the big sports networks work, or sports teams work. Is just promoting themselves the best they can, and then the overall commission, like the Overwatch League or the NFL, will help promote them. Will help promote their games and things like that, and supply, the place, the refs and things like that for it to happen, and sometimes even the broadcast. They'll help pay for that or help find those people so that the teams can pay for it. I'm intrigued to see. I'm really amazed at how many U.S. teams there are in this league. Like L.A. apparently couldn't have enough with just having one team. They had to have a second team. So that's pretty interesting. But we got to see how team uniforms are going to work by watching the World Cup. So I'm excited about that.
Oh yeah,
to see all these uniforms in play in the upcoming preseason. So
they will be a little bit more diverse than what we saw, at least from what is already released. There are more variations, there are more colors and stuff like that. They are really trying to give the logo back with the skins and with the uniforms.
Oh yeah, so this is going to be cool. I'm excited to see how it works out and how everybody looks, and just the overall atmosphere of a game for the Overwatch League. So I'm definitely going to watch and see where everything is, and if it goes well, I'm getting a Dallas Fuel jersey. So
all right. So the preseason, the first week is on December the 7th and 8th, as I can see it, but everyone can check it at overwatchleague.com. There's the schedule and the teams and the players. So if you want to know more about these teams and how they will look and who they have, then feel free to look them up.
Okay.
So, and lastly, there's the Overwatch Open Division. That's an interesting thing to see again. So on the Play Overwatch site, you can find the Open Division. And this is basically saying that step 1, hone your skills in quick play. Then step 2, start competitive play. And then step 3, step out into the Open Division. And if you are master rank or higher, then you can just join the Open Division tournament. And if you click the button on the site, it sends you to Faceit, where you can try to join in a team or join as a team to the Open Division. And I think it's really great that Blizzard is not forgetting the common people.
Oh, I mean, if you consider Masters and up the common people, but yeah, it's nice. I
mean, I know that they are the top, I know what % of the gamers, but yeah, you should have some filter regarding the quality.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not denying that at all, that you need to have the quality of the gameplay. I don't want to see me play in the freaking Open or in the World Cup. No, everybody be like, man, that guy sucks. He's just dying. No, I'm cool with that, but it definitely makes people want to work for it. That's what the majority of it is. If you really want to be in this, you got to work for it. So, and that's
right.
That's something that I know in America, all these freaking millennials just want it handed to them on a silver platter, saying, "Oh, well, I have this cool equipment, I have this cool stuff, so I can be a pro." And it's like, not exactly. You see, you have to do this thing called practice and dedication. I know that's difficult, but this is how it works. And I've done it before where I'm expecting stuff, but I was expecting to do pretty well at playing soldier just because I watched a video once or twice and I did the drills and then I got wrecked and it's like, oh fudge, I have to practice.
And even if you are good in solo queue, it's a really different experience to play in a team. And I always try to promote the competitive level, even on an amateur level, because I really believe that playing in a team and playing scrims where you can dedicate yourself to improvement with a team is really a much better experience than trying to work out how the solo queue can be won. And it gives you a nice environment where you can hone your skills and where you can get better and focus on the character that you want to play or on the role that what you want to play. And it gives freedom to the players, and it also gives you a nice environment to improve in. And it usually also gives you friends, because that's how it works. If you spend a lot of nights together playing Overwatch again and again against different teams, then you get be a little bit close to those people. So I think that's great that they are promoting this, and there are also different tournaments for these teams. If that's not the open division, then they can find a lot of tournaments and cups and whatever on different sites like Battlefly, where they can participate and actually win money. And I think there are more and more offline, so to say, offline events where you can just go to a LAN party and play Overwatch. It's nice to see that.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's definitely, it's going to be intriguing to see how the Open Division does. And if from the Open Division we get more teams for the Overwatch League, that'd be cool if that could happen. So it definitely gives a source for the Overwatch League to, hire players and things like that, which is kind of nice to have. It's kind of like the college level, essentially, is where you go to recruit. So I think that's pretty cool.
I think that can work. If somebody really shines in the Open Division, then I think it is possible that the teams will notice them, and it may be easier to notice them if they are participating in this one than if they are just doing some random cups and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. No.
So that's really good to see that we are actually having some support as the competitive community.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely going to be a cool experience.
All right. Do we have anything else?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
All right, then I'll just wrap it up. So, thank you guys for being here, and thank you for listening to us. And as always, like, share, and subscribe, and watch our other videos, because we are not only doing podcasts, we are creating educational content for you on every Wednesday. So look out for the new videos every week, and join our Discord, because we have a really great community. If you want to improve, you can just come online, post your VOD, and there will be someone helping you with your questions or with your videos. And if you want to take your game to the next level, you can actually get coached by the Overwatch team. So if you are looking for that, then head over to our Patreon. You can support the channel as well as the work of the coaches. So that's all, and thank you for your attention. Bye bye.
See you guys.